Mr. Speaker, at this time, please recognize Representative Barker and others for House Resolution 114.
The chair recognizes Representative Barker and others for House Resolution 114.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House. We have House Resolution 114 in front of us. I'm thankful that a third of the chamber has co-sponsored this with me. This is a resolution honoring the Iowans who were killed in or survived the attack on the USS Indianapolis on July 30th, 1945. Whereas on November 15th, 1932, the USS Indianapolis was accepted and commissioned in the United States Navy, and
whereas the USS Indianapolis served as the flagship of the Fifth Fleet through much of World War II under the command of Admiral Raymond A. Spruance. And
whereas all who served aboard the USS Indianapolis distinguished themselves in their ship in the Pacific during World War II, and with the ship earning a total of 10 battle stars in the Pacific between 1942 and 1945. And
whereas the USS Indianapolis was struck by a kamikaze plane in March 1945 at Okinawa during the Okinawa Gunto operation, resulting in 38 casualties, and
whereas on July 26, 1945, the USS Indianapolis delivered parts for the first operational atomic bomb to the island of Tinian, which less than 2 weeks later was flown by a B-29 bomber, the Enola Gay, and dropped on Hiroshima to bring an early end to the war with the Imperial Japan. And
whereas on July 30th, 1945, the USS Indianapolis, while transitioning unescorted from Guam to Leyte Gulf, was struck by 2 torpedoes fired by a Japanese submarine, the first torpedo striking the bow and the second striking the near midship on the starboard side. And
whereas the resulting explosion split the ship to the keel and knocked out electrical power, causing the USS Indianapolis to sink rapidly. And
whereas of the 1,195 men aboard, some 900 made it to the water in the 12 minutes before the ship sank. And
whereas few life rafts were released and most survivors wore standard life jackets as sharks attacks began at sunrise that day and continued until nearly 5 days later, when 316 survivors were removed from the water after their accidental discovery during a routine anti-submarine patrol. And
whereas there were 34 Iowans on board the USS Indianapolis in the early morning of July 30th, 1945, and
whereas 30 soldiers from Iowa, Seaman Second Class Frederick H. Baker, Seaman First Class Robert E. Batten, Seaman Second Class Raynard R. Bogie, Mailman Third Class Herod V. Briley, Water Tender Second Class Harold D. Figgins, Ensign Cecil D. Fowle.
Machinist Mate Third Class Leonard A. Fritz, Fireman Second Class Richard C. Grease, Fireman First Class Donald R. Griggs, Seaman Second Class Lester B. Hodgins, Private First Class Leland R. Hubbard, Seaman First Class Harry H. Hubner.
Seaman Second Class Merle B. Hutchison, Seaman Second Class Chris A. Jensen, Seaman First Class Harold B. Johnson, Ensign David A. Jump, Seaman Second Class Robert H. King, Seaman First Class Elburn L. Knott, Seaman Second Class Darwin G. Cruz, Seaman First Class Leo W. Lohr, Seaman Second Class Raymond A. Nutt, Yeoman First Class Theodore G. Ott, Fireman Second Class Welburn M. Pender, Fireman First Class Leroy Reinert.
Fireman Second Class Roy E. Roten, Radarman Third Class James R. Slaughter, First Lieutenant Edward H. Stouffer, Gunner's Mate Third Class Charles B. Stickley, Seaman Second Class Joseph M. Strain, and Private First Class Arthur A. Thompson perished at sea, and
whereas only 4 of the Iowans on board that morning, Seaman First Class Charles O. Wells of Comanche, Seaman Second Class Glenn Laverne Milbrot of Akron, Electrician's Mate Second Class Edward Chris Koch of Denison, and Seaman First Class Robert H. Brundage of Des Moines survived the attack on the USS Indianapolis. Now, therefore,
be it resolved by the House of Representatives that the House of Representatives honors the lives and service of each of the Iowans who were killed in or survived the attack on the USS Indianapolis on July 30th, 1945. And we move the resolution.